Wow.
I think it was Russell Grant, actually.
Oh, was it Russell Grant? Was he the?
Yeah. Yeah, Russell Grant is the astrologer.
Oh, Russell Grant was the astrologer.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was... I
He had
don't
a
know.
brother.
There was a brother, but I don't know. I think you're thinking of Paul Ross, who's Jonathan Ross's brother.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I've been sending
Because I'm also an astrologer as well.
I've been sending abusive Christmas cards to the wrong family. I owe Russell Grant's family an apology. Hello there, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Football Manager Therapy. I am your host, Rich Owens. Joining me this week, we have the delightful D-Boy Plays, and we have the incredible return of, I was about to say the Great White Jeb, but I don't know, that connotations? Is that appropriate? Can we say that? Am I allowed to say that? Jeb's back.
The subject, yeah, I was going to say the subject of this podcast. We're just going to get cancelled anyway, so it's fine. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's say what we want.
Let's lean into it, lads.
Let's say exactly what we want. Let's go for it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to start. Are you ready? 1, 2. So yeah.
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe you just said that on the
Sorry.
internet.
I felt like it was coming, if I'm honest with you.
It's
fair
might
enough.
be a bit woke. Sorry.
Fair enough. D, would you also like to discredit an entire people?
Sorry. No, I'm... No, I'm quite happy to just sit and natter.
Okay.
If possible.
You can do that as well if you want. God. Jeez.
And I'll try and find the middle ground, shall I? Should we aim for the...
Have a natter about things. That'll get us cancelled. There we go.
Let's do that. Let's just have a little chat, shall we? Should we have a little podcasty chat? Seems like the thing to do. Yeah. Look, we weren't here last week. I think so. Soz, that's mainly my fault. Hello, me. I'm holding my hand up here. I'm taking the blame for that. It's all on me. No podcast last week. Soz, everybody. I was, having a bad time with my brain, and then we didn't record a podcast, which in hindsight was the right choice. So sorry, everybody, if you were looking forward to a podcast last week. You can get one. In hindsight, there's nothing I can do about it. So take the apology or don't, I suppose. It's the best way of looking at it. Look, accept my apology or don't, but can we just move on? That's the message here. That's the message from me. But we're back. We're back this week. It's going to be probably a bit of a shorter pod than usual, I suppose, because we've been having a bit of a natter behind the scenes about a few things, and we've made, I suppose, look at me just jumping straight into it, not messing about. No messing about this week. We've had a bit of a chat about a few things, and due to just a whole variety of reasons, we have decided that we're going to have a little bit of a FMT hiatus, I think is the best way of putting it, fellas. That's the best way of putting it. And I think the main reason is, before we get into that, I feel like I need to mediate here and, be the parent. It's like, look, your internet dads haven't fallen out. We all still love each other very much. You don't have to decide who you're going to live with. Jeb, the audio listeners, it sounded like a cynical eyebrow raise. It was actually a nod of, yes, we will still care deeply about each other. Your FM dads all still love each other very, very much. You don't have to decide who you're going to have to go and live with. No weird weekend arrangements here. I think, fellas, it's probably fair to say we're all just a little bit burnt out on FM at the moment. Is that a fair way of putting it? Feels like a fair way of putting it.
Sounds pretty reasonable. I mean, it's hard, isn't it? Because obviously we'd like to obviously chat about something lovely every week and have something fun to give everyone, but we should really be talking about a new game now, and it's really hard to stay motivated in that. And again, I know I'm sure you chaps will get onto this anyway, but I think I'm the only one out of all of us that still streams FM at the moment. So I'm getting, I'm still I'm still holding down the FM side of things, but I appreciate that people are kind of bored of it now. You even see it on Twitch. There aren't that many people streaming it now, really. So, it is what it is, really.
Yeah. I mean, I still don't get it twisted. Look at me using the youth parlance. I still love Football Manager. Great game, wonderful game. I've loved it for many, many, many years, and will continue to love it. But like you put it, D, I think you're the only one of the three of us that are here this evening, and four if we include our wonderful pal the Steak Bake, who are still regularly playing the game. And as you say, we should be well into our FM25 bits and pieces at this stage of the year. We had all assumed that we would be.
We should just started, even if it was the delay. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it had come out when it was originally said post a delay, it was going to be released, we'd all be into it now. But, and not to go down that rabbit hole of, well, it wasn't released, that's a bad thing. No, get it. Again, we're still very understanding of that, and we get it. But at the same time, it does have a knock-on effect in terms of, I suppose, podcasts like this, because, we are FMT, Football Manager Therapy, and it feels a little bit odd that the vast majority of us are kind of taking a break from the game, getting together to talk about a game that we're not playing each week. Just feels a little bit weird, I suppose. I mean, Jeb, I think you're like me. When was the last time you loaded up FM? If you had to hazard a guess at it.
This week.
There
playing
you go.
it. Yeah, I love the game. It's great. That's all you're on about. No, loaded up and actually played it. I don't know, actually. I nearly went into a Malaga save, but then I couldn't be bothered. It's one of them. Like Malaga, I didn't realise Malaga were in the third tier at the start of FM24, but no, they're not. So it's odd. I think it's odd. Like, I even joked with D about it. I said that the start, that he's done these Holsworthy save. I was just like, what we'll do, we'll come back when D reaches the Champions League finals. We're about to win the Europa League. Okay, that might be really soon then. I didn't realise you got that far along in it. I've had your stream on in the background for quite a while, but, not got enough channel points to upgrade my player, so just not good enough.
Same.
What's the point? Yeah, what's the point, Rich? Like, we don't get free points as podcast friends,
I can't show a bias or a loyalty in any way. It's not fair.
Isn't it?
They don't have to know.
It? Yeah, exactly.
I will take channel points under the table. That's absolutely not an issue
exactly.
for me.
Unbelievable.
No qualms with it. If next time you boot up the save and we've all got perfect 20s across the board in all of our attributes, then these things just happen. So glitch with the game.
Podcasts will be back next week. So that's basically what this is. This is a hostage situation.
Yeah.
So I see. We're not actually making it like, we need a break. It's now. It's going to be my fault if we don't return. Okay, brilliant.
Yeah. If you look behind you, somebody's about to slip an envelope under your door. It's a ransom letter. It's just lots of cut out letters from Cosmopolitan and Bunty that we've just put together. And you can.
I should read it later.
I told you not to use Bunty. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. Right. But yeah, no, in terms of the game, I've not really played it. I did try. I think it's quite public that the playoffs was trying to come back at one stage. That didn't happen. The amount of no's we had from people, the amount of just disinterest in it. And it was, I think that's what probably surprised me and kind of put the nail in the coffin for 24. It's nice to see. I think it was announced. The only announcement that they made is it is going to carry on being on Game Pass and things like that until the next game cycle. So people aren't going to lose out on playing the game or finishing off the saves or finishing the stories. But how many stories are there to tell anymore? I mean, I saw Kev's now doing reversed Homeward Bound. He's leaving Britain. He's Kev's Brexiting by the sound of things. So gets far away, which is fair enough, exactly. But I think it's just the fact that there's still no news, there's no posts, there's nothing at all. And it's becoming not desperate. I think that's probably a bit far, but it's just becoming a little worrying. But I don't know. Let's get to the end of the football season and see what happens. But yeah,
it's all fair. It's all valid. I mean, we as a collective of people, D is doing the heavy lifting in terms of the Football Manager playing, from an FMT collective standpoint. And I think you're right. The stories have been told. I did a big old save and told some stories, restored some form of glory, and then just flapped it in other areas, which is fine because that's the way these saves go. But in terms of starting a new big project, I'm shrugging my shoulders. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I can't. There's nothing that I'm thinking of that's making me go, oh, that'd be brilliant, and I should really start that save, and I should just play it behind the scenes, or I should stream it. And I think that's quite telling. It's like with anything, if you're doing something just for the sake of doing it and you're not enjoying it, then why do it at all? I suppose is my way of looking at things. I've been, again, even in terms of streaming, last week didn't stream at all. Just wasn't feeling brilliant about myself and a few other bits and pieces. That's been slowing down a little bit for me as well. So, and yeah, in terms of FM, like you say, Jeb, because there's been nothing, and as you rightly pointed out, great news for people that play the game and things like Game Pass, but there's nothing else there to kind of, tempt me in at the moment. So, it feels a little bit odd to host a Football Manager podcast on a weekly basis when I'm not playing the game or really connecting that much with it at the moment.
What was actually quite fun. Look back here now. Probably shouldn't have accelerated the end of the network save.
Whoops!
Completely capitulated that. Yeah, I know.
We didn't know there was a new game coming. Yeah.
We were at the time working on the assumption that we were doing it for a very, very good reason.
It's just like that's speed through. Oh, me and Steak have lost our jobs now. Like everything's gone wrong.
Everything's gone a little bit on fire.
Yeah.
You
had a great time
out of it, though. That was good.
Oh, yeah. I won the World Cup. Yeah, I forgot about that.
That is true. You did win a World Cup. That is not to be sniffed at.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, but I didn't lose my job, despite trying. I know I resigned in the end. They wouldn't sack me. I made every unreasonable demand going, and they still wouldn't sack me. So, had to quit. So yeah, in hindsight, thanks SI for just giving us a little, lads. We're gonna cancel the game. Keep your network safe going. It's not asking too much, is it? It is. It's asking way too much. We shouldn't be doing that. But in terms of pod, kind of for those reasons, I think that's why we've collectively decided that it's probably a nice idea to take a little break for a while, just until we're all just excited to talk about Football Manager again, because I think we've over the last kind of year or so, in the last game cycle, we've done deep dives into the game. We've had some lovely guests on the podcast. We've talked in depth with a lot of people about their FM experiences. We've talked a lot about our own through our saves, through the network save. It's been brilliant, but Jeb, you mentioned stories left to tell with FM24. I think we've told them all quite eloquently through streaming, through the podcast, through everything else. At the moment, it just feels like there's not really a story to tell about Football Manager. We've especially over the last few months, we've gone into a fair bit of detail about the announcements and the subsequent cancellation of FM25. What else is there for us at the minute, I think, is the realistic question. And to say that there isn't anything necessarily at the minute, I think that's okay. I think that's an all right thing to say. Everything's okay. Like I say, the decision to take a little break from the podcast, as I said before, in jest, is nothing to do with any of the interpersonal relationships of the FM team. We all do still quite like each other. It's quite nice. It's it's lovely to have Jeb. Jeb's not been on the pod for a few weeks now, so it's lovely to have had a catch up with Jeb before we've gone live and have Jeb on the pod today. And I know Stakey is currently in the process of going through a move in terms of it. So he's got a lot going on behind the scenes as well.
So I'm going to another pod just to confirm. It's not a transfer, just to confirm that.
If you see somebody that looks and sounds a lot like Stakey on 5-star potential next week, it's not Stakey. It's the sausage and bean melt. Can you imagine? Duke, if you're listening, can you please, just as a one-off, just get a character. Just do that. That'd be lovely. That'd make me so happy. Go on. Tony, get the Katsu chicken bake on next week's FM show. Go on. It'll be very funny. It'll pop me. And that's what really matters. No, so we all still love each other very, very much. And it's nothing to do with any interpersonal relationships between the podcast. We've been talking in quite a lot of detail before we started recording the pod about things that we can still do collectively together in some capacity on Mondays again.
Yeah, astrology. So, yeah.
Astrology. Yeah, that's one of the things. Communicating with the dead, as is my understanding of astrology. It's really weird they put it in all the newspapers though. That's confusing to me. Yeah, but
I loved Derek Akora's horoscopes. They're so good.
I love Derek Akora's horoscopes. It's brilliant when he's just there. He's like, right, I'm trying to reach a Taurus. Sorry, Libra? Pisces. I'm getting Pisces. You a No? Are you sure? Are you sure you're not an Aquarius? Your dad was an Aquarius. Your granddad was an Aquarius. His dad was an Aquarius. His dad was an Aquarius. You're going to have a lucky day. There you go. It's great. I loved it. Loved a bit of Derek Acora. Especially when he hunted ghosts and told them their horoscopes. That was really, really good. Liked that.
Best part of the show.
Absolutely the best part of the show. Absolutely the best part of the show. No, we're still going to get together and do things on Mondays. I think that's definitely something we're going to carry on doing. But in terms of getting together to record a podcast every week, I think we're just going to have a little bit of time off. I think that's the right thing to do. That feels like a sensible thing to do. I feel like a right thing to do. Is it the right thing to do? I just don't know. It feels like it's okay. It feels like it's okay.
Yeah, it's
the right thing to do. We need
it's fun.
We want to have a break from talking about something that we're not collectively super passionate about right now.
Yeah.
We love the game, but we want a break from it.
Yeah.
The game is Ross. We are Rachel. Or the other way around.
I have always wanted to be Jennifer Aniston. So this is good for me.
We're on a break. Okay. This is the reference I was making there, Jeb. You looked very confused at the reference.
I'm not confused. I'm just angry at the reference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're doing a podcast next week now.
Okay, so
we're not going on a break. Since you've ruined everything.
We're going to say that.
Now we're going to do it out of spite. We're going to record
it. Each other during the pod.
Yeah,
Jeff and I now have a feud.
Yeah, exactly.
Took a while.
That's the motivator. Yeah. That's what pulled FMT back from the edge. Spite. Yeah.
Exactly. We'll be on the undercard to Rich getting clotheslined by Killian Dane, or whatever his name is. I can't remember what his name is.
Whatever his name is. He's ducking me now. Just want to put it out there. Ducking me. And what? And what, Big Damo? And what?
It's a Big Damo.
Big Damo.
You probably have to duck his clothesline so you don't die.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well for me in the long run, but I should revisit that. I'm gonna send him a DM, be like, all right, coward. That's a terrible way to start that message. It's how I start all my emails at work though, which is weird. Fight me. Just see what he says. Just see what he says. Yeah. Are you going to be in the Midlands anytime soon? You bumperclart. And then just go from there. Just go. Go.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. I mean, I think the last correspondence I had with him, I think I made a joke about something, and I think because we follow each other, he saw the joke and he didn't like the joke very much. So, quite similarly to your last interaction with Keith Chegwin, Jeb, I've got to careful now.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah.
Who's laughing now? No. Sorry, that's too far.
And that's it. That's the thing.
Yeah, come on. That feels like a podcast. Get it out of here. Let's go.
Hold on, wait. Let me get Russell Grant involved on this. He might be able to help out. Your Pisces? No, okay. Good. On that bombshell. What a lovely way to end. No, I think we should wrap up before Jeb upsets anybody else. Good.
Sure.
No, we're good. Stuck to that one. Fellas, before we go, because even though we're not podcasting, people might want to watch us doing things that on the internet that we do so love doing, like streaming and the other bits and pieces. Jeb, where can people find you if they wanted to watch you doing stuff online, like streaming or upsetting Keith Chegwin's family?
The_steak_bake.
Lovely stuff. Yes. On platforms. Just one platform. On everything else, there's no underscores. Twitch is underscores. Everything else is no underscores.
Yeah, that's the motto. That's his motto.
That's what he says. He says it all the time. He's really good at it. Good.
Sausage _bean / cheese _melt.
It's the finest product. It really is. There's only 2 little bits of sausage in there, but oh, what a treat. What a treat when you finally get to them. D. Holdsworthy Albion. What a wonderful experience that is. If people want to watch you doing it and the other things that you do on the internet, where can they find you doing so?
They could do that on twitch.tv/dboyplays.
Lovely stuff. And I'd wholeheartedly recommend you to do so. Get in that Holdsworthy team because you'll have won a Champions League before you actually get into League 2. That's my prediction. I can feel it.
That's the plan.
I can feel it. I can feel it coming. In the air tonight.
What about you, Rich?
Phil Collins jokes, apparently. Twitch.tv/Rich Owens FM. I'm playing Bioshock and doing lots of water Lego at the moment. That's quite good fun. And I've got some other things downloaded to play as well, which is going to be very exciting. Or twitch.tv/Jebaroo. It's good. It's good. He does things on it. Good things. The man behind you. It was the man behind you. Right.
Okay.
Thank you ever so much for watching, for listening.
Bye.
For however you are consuming this podcast. Jeb's had enough. Bless him, he's tired. He's missed his nap. Yes, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Appreciate you enormously. One thing I will say, just before we do start to wrap up, if you are listening to this or watching this via Patreon, and you want to put a bit of a pause on that for a while, that's absolutely fine, because we're not going to be making anything for you to watch for a little bit, so more than entitled to do so. We won't take it personally. We'll see you soon, which we definitely will, for another episode of Football Manager Therapy. But until then, take care. Love you lots. Bye-bye.